Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. Today we are going to see what are the data types in Java. Now see here. Today we are going to see what is meant by a data type and what are the various primitive data types available in Java. Now see the definition of the data type. Data type represents the type of the data that we store in the memory. Generally, in every programming, if we want to do some task, you need to store the data, right? Generally, we store the data in the memory, right? Now, the task was what type of data you are storing in the memory, right? That will be represented by the data type. Means whether you are storing the numeric data, the character data, like that. Those all things will be mentioned or represented by the data type only. Now see this point. Every variable or every memory location, right, and every expression, right, which means arithmetic expression or some operation, everything that will have some type. Okay, for example, see this. For example, we do like this. Let me take an expression like this. If we take an expression like 10 plus 20, right, this expression is going to return an integer 30. So every variable and every expression is going to have some type. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, now let's see the classification of the various data types. The primitive data types are majorly classified into two types. The first one was the numeric data types and the second one was non-numeric data types. Okay, now see, inside the numeric data type, we are majorly classifying into the integers and the floating point numbers, that is the decimal numbers. Now integers means that would be represented using four data types: a byte, short, int, long. Okay, anyway, we will discuss all the four data types. And in the decimal format, we are going to have the float and the double data types. And to store the non-numeric data, we are going to use the character. Means what? Generally to hold any character, digits, alphabets, or anything to hold some character data, we are going to use the character data type. And the next one was the boolean data type, in order to hold true or false values. Okay, to hold those true or false values, we are going to use the boolean data type. Okay, now let's see each of these data type. Yeah, now we will start off with the byte data type. Yeah, byte data type is going to take 1 byte of the memory, and this was the range minus 128 to 127. So the maximum value is 127, right? And the default value is 0, and a wrapper class would be there to support operations. Okay, various operations on the data that we store in the memory. We can use the wrapper class, that is byte. This is the wrapper class name. Now let's see these examples. Byte b equal to 100. Yes, 100 is within the range of, right, within the range, so it is valid. 127, yeah, it's a maximum value you can hold. Okay, if you hold a floating point data into an integer, so in that case you will get a compile time error saying that possible loss of precision. Okay, similarly, if you hold some out of range data, means it is integer, right? 128 means integer, it is not in the range of the byte. So what you need to do, you can't able to store it in the byte variable, so you will get the compile time error, possible loss of precision. Similarly, if the type has changed, means what, here we are all dealing with the numeric data, but you are holding here the string character data and here the boolean data, the type itself has changed, right? So in that case you will get a different compile time error, that is incompatible types. Okay, that is the error you will get. Okay, now the next data type we are going to see was the short data type. See the short data type. The short data type is going to take 2 bytes of memory. So this is the range minus 2 to the power 15 to 2 to the power 15 minus 1. Very simple. The size is 2 bytes, means how many bits? 16 bits. Okay, it represents 16 bits. You can represent like this: minus 2 to the power number of bits minus 1, 2. Okay, this was the minimum one. Maximum one is 2 to the power number of bits minus 1 minus 1. See, if n is 16, 2 to the power 16 minus 1, 15, 2 to the power 15 minus 1, right? In this way you can represent any range, and the default value is 0 here also, and the wrapper class is short. Okay, short is the wrapper class. Now see here some examples. 100, yes, it is in the range, you can able to hold it. Yeah, 32767 is the maximum value, you can hold it, no issues. See here same example. When you hold the floating point or the decimal data into the integer variables, means what? Into the short variable, you will get a compile time error saying that possible loss of precision. Okay, similarly, if you go out of the range, okay, it is also not possible to hold, right? In that case also you will get possible loss of precision. And as I told you, if you change the type of the data itself, means what? If you're trying to hold some other type data like the character data and the boolean data into the short variable, you will get the error, compile time error of incompatible types. Okay, so that you need to remember. And the next data type was the int data type. Okay, yeah, see, the int data type, it is going to hold or take 4 bytes of the memory, and this was the range. We know how to take the range, right? As per the bits, number of bits, and the default value is the 0, and the wrapper class for it is the integer. Okay, now see the examples. 100 is within the range, okay, you can hold it, and this is the maximum value for the integer variable, yes, you can hold it. See, when you hold the floating point data into an integer variable, it's not possible, right? So what do we get? We get a simple thing, possible loss of precision, compile time error. Okay, now this is also an integer, but what? It is going out of the range. So in that case, you will get the error, a different error. See, integer number is too large, means what? It is also an integer number, but it is not in the range of 4 bytes. Okay, we can't hold it in that memory. So try to see the size of it, means try to see the number is too large, that is what representing here. And as I told you, if you go for the some other types, means if you try to hold the character data and the boolean data inside or into the integer location, then you will get the error. Okay, what type of error you will get? Incompatible data types. Okay, this was the examples you need to focus. And the next one is a long data type. Generally we don't use it as much. If you want to store really a huge number, okay, huge integers, you will prefer like this. For example, speed of the light is 3 into 10 power 8, right? For example, if you want to know, uh, if you want to multiply for a month, means 30 days, for an year, like if you want to multiply for a long multiples integers, if you want to deal with the huge numbers, then you prefer long. Okay, otherwise up to integer it would be enough. Okay, mostly it would be enough. If you really need very huge numbers, go for long. It's 8 bytes of memory. This was the range. The default value is the 0, and to do operations onto the data, we are taking the support of our wrapper class long. Okay, that is the wrapper class. And let's go for the next. Yeah, here the decimal point data types we can able to see. The float data type, it is going to take the 4 bytes of memory. Generally float is for single precision, means after the decimal point you will get 6 to 7 decimal places, means 6 to 7 values or the digits you can call. This was the range of it. Okay, and the default value is 0 0.0, and the wrapper class support is a float. Okay, this was the wrapper class. Next one, double. This is also used for holding the decimal point data, and it is going to take 8 bytes of memory. And you need to remember this point, it is for double precision, means what? here you will get 15 to 16 decimal places. Means what? Here the result will be much more accurate. Why? Because 15 to 16 decimal places will be represented, and this was the range of it. And see here, the default value is 0 0.0, and the wrapper class support is double. By taking the support of the double class, you can perform some operations like type conversions, or if you want to do something, you can do that. Okay, the wrapper class support will be there. uh, because of that only, Java is said to be a pure object oriented programming language. Okay, now see here, the next one was a boolean data type. Yeah, we are now shifting to the non-numeric data types. That is a boolean data type. See, boolean data type size is a virtual machine dependent, like 1 byte or 1 bit, like that. Why? Because it is going to hold just a true or false data only. It depends on the virtual machine. And see, the only values possible are true and false. Okay, true, false. Other than that, no values are possible for the boolean data type. And similarly, the default value is the false only, and the wrapper class support is a boolean class. See here, boolean b equal to true. Yes, it's a valid value, so it's going to be valid. Boolean b equal to 1, it's not valid. Okay, it's not a C language to hold that 1 and 0 represent some boolean values. It's not the case here. In Java, true and false only represents the boolean values. 1 is the integer data, you can't hold it right inside a boolean value, so you will get incompatible type error. Similarly, if you try to hold string data inside the boolean data type, it is also not possible, you will get the same error. And similarly, if you try to write like this, a true as making the capital T, it is also not possible. Why? Because true and false are the keywords, right? As I told you, true and false are the reserved literals in Java, right? In our previous video, I have said that those are reserved literals, means those represents some reserved values. So you need to follow it as it is. If you change the capital case or if you change the case of it, it won't work out. Okay, it will think like it is a variable. So here see, there is no variable like a true, and you're trying to assign this content to a boolean variable b. It's not possible, right? So we are going to get error, cannot find the symbol. Okay, and that's all about the data types. And we remind with one more data type, the character data type. See, generally to hold the character, it is going to take 2 bytes of the memory, and there's a big doubt, or in most of the interviews also, this question will be raised that in C or C++, the character data type is taking 1 byte of the memory, but here in Java it is taking 2 bytes of memory. What is the reason behind it? It means the reason was it is following the Unicode characters. Okay, Unicode coding. In C and C++, we follow ASCII coding. Okay, here it is Unicode representation. What happens means Java supports multiple language characters, means Telugu, English, Hindi, Kannadam, like this, various characters would be supported. So that's why to provide the internationalization support, we are going to use the Unicode representation in Java. So that's why we are taking 2 bytes of memory. This is the number of characters, this is the range, and we are going to follow Unicode representation, and the default value is the space character. Okay, and the wrapper class is nothing but character class, so that you could perform some operations on the data. Okay, yes guys, and this is all about today's session. In today's session, we have gone through what is meant by a data type and what are various primitive data types available in Java. Okay, in our upcoming sessions, we will deal with a few more Java concepts. And thanks for watching. Please do subscribe and support our channel for more videos.